Okay guys, in this lesson we are going to learn to solve two-step inequalities. Alright, so there are four different types of two-step inequalities. The first type, you end up getting x by itself by adding or subtracting and then dividing at the end. First example, 5x minus 9 is greater than 76. We always start by getting our single numbers together first. So I'm going to do the opposite of minus 9, which is to add 9 to both sides. Those cross out. 5x comes down. Inequality stays the same. 76 plus 9 is 85. To get rid of the 5, I'm going to divide by 5 on both sides. The 5's will cross out. And 85 divided by 5 is 17. We do not have to do a swap because it is going the correct direction, and we do not have to do a flip because we divided by a positive number on both sides. To graph it, I would do an open circle at 17 and shade to the right. Okay, second example, 4 is less than or equal to negative 5 minus 9b. Again, first step is to get the single numbers together. Opposite of negative 5 is adding 5 to both sides. 5's cross out. 4 plus 5 is 9. Inequality symbol stays the same, and I'm going to bring down the negative 9b. To get rid of the negative 9, I am going to divide by negative 9 on both sides. Those negative 9's cross out, but since we need to keep a number here, I'm going to think, what is 9 divided by negative 9? And that is a negative 1. Since I divided by a negative number on both sides, that means that we need to do a flip. So I'm just going to change the direction that the inequality symbol eats, but we're going to keep the line. Finally, it's backwards, so I also need to do a swap. So here's my swap. B comes first, negative 1 at the end, and I'll just change the direction of the inequality symbol again. To graph it, it's going to be a closed circle over negative 1 and shaded to the left. Okay, for type 2 two-step inequalities, we need to add or subtract first and then multiply. Here's our first example. M over 6 plus 8 is less than 9. My first step again is going to be to get my single numbers together. The opposite of adding 8 is subtracting, so I'll subtract 8 from both sides. The 8's cross out, which means I get m over 6 left by itself. The inequality symbol stays the same, and 9 minus 8 is 1. To get rid of the 6, I'm going to multiply on both sides because that line means division. We end up crossing out the 6's. We get to keep m by itself, and 1 times 6 makes 6. I did not multiply on both sides by a negative number, so I don't have to flip, and the inequality is not backwards, so I don't have to swap. To shade it, it will be an open circle over 6, shaded to the left. Second example, negative 6 is less than or equal to x over 2 minus 8. I'm going to get rid of the 8 first by adding 8 to both sides. The 8's will cross out. Negative 6 plus 8 is positive 2. I keep the inequality symbol going the same direction. And then I have x over 2. To get rid of the 2 on the bottom, we're going to multiply by 2 on both sides. Those 2's cross out. 2 times 2 is 4. Same direction still, x by itself, but uh-oh, it's backwards, so we're going to do a swap. Here's our swap. X comes first, numbers at the end, and the inequality symbol will change directions. To graph it, I will go closed circle over 4 and shade to the right. Okay, the third type of two-step equation is the one with the giant fraction, the one that always freaks everybody out, but I'm confident you guys can do this. First step is to multiply, second step is to add or subtract. If it helps, draw a box over the top of your fraction so that you remember to save this part till the end. We're going to get rid of this number that is blocking the path to our box. Since it's a line, the opposite is multiplication. So times on both sides. Remember to cross out the opposite numbers. Don't multiply to things in the box. So now I have m minus 7 all by itself. I don't need the box anymore. I'm going to keep the inequality symbol the same. Negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. Okay, to get m by itself, the next step is going to be to add 7 to both sides. The 7's cross out, m stays by itself. The inequality symbol does not change directions. Negative 21 plus 7 will be negative 14. And to shade this one, I will do a closed circle over negative 14 and shade to the right. And if you're wondering why we did not end up flipping this inequality symbol way back here, since we multiplied by a positive number on both sides, we did not actually need to do a flip. Second example, negative 3 is greater than 5 plus k over 5. Remember, you can add the box in the top if that helps. To get rid of this number that's blocking our box, we're going to multiply on both sides. 5's cross out. 5 times negative 3 makes negative 15. Remember, don't flip because we multiplied by a positive number on both sides. Bring down the 5 plus k. To get the k by itself, I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides. 5's cross out. Negative 15 minus 5 is negative 20. Inequality symbol stays the same direction. K is all by itself now. And since it's backwards, I'm going to go k first, negative 20 at the end, and swap the direction of the inequality symbol. To shade it, we'll have an open circle over negative 20 to the left. Alright, type 4 is actually more of a three-step equation. We're going to multiply first to get rid of parentheses, then we'll add or subtract, and finally divide. So I'm going to take this 7 and multiply it. First example, 7 times x minus 3 is greater than 63. First thing I'm going to do is take the 7 and multiply it to everything inside the parentheses. So I will have 7x minus 21 is greater than 63. Next step is adding or subtracting. We're going to add the opposite of negative 21. 21's will cross out. The 7x comes down, and so does the inequality symbol. 63 plus 21 is 84. To get rid of the 7, we're going to divide on both sides. 7's cross out, bring down the x. 84 divided by 7 is 12. We did not have to do a swap, we did not have to do a flip, we are done, so I will end up with open circle on 12 shaded to the right. Okay, very last example. Negative 44 is greater than or equal to negative 4 times n plus 3. Again, first step is to multiply. Negative 44 and the inequality symbol stays the same. Negative 4 times n, remember you can always put a 1 in front of it if you need to, would be negative 4n, and negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. We do not need to do a flip yet because we did not multiply by negative 4 on both sides, only the one side. Now we're going to work on getting our single numbers together, the negative 12 and the negative 44, so I will add 12 to both sides, which will cross out. Negative 44 plus 12 is negative 32, symbol stays the same, and so does the negative 4n. To finish getting n by itself, I'm going to divide by negative 4 on both sides. The negative 4's will cross out. Negative 32 divided by negative 4 is positive 8. Oh, but I almost made a mistake there. Because we divided by a negative 4 on both sides, that means that we need to flip. So there's my flip, n stays the same, and it's backwards, so I also need to do a swap. N goes first, 8 goes at the end, symbol changes direction. Last thing, close circle over 8, shade to the right. Thanks for watching.